Hi, and thank you for joining us for this week's Crafternoon here at the Coronado Public Library. I'm Jacqueline Luna, your Adult Services Librarian, and for this week's Crafternoon, we'll be making a pumpkin and ghost garland. If you weren't able to pick up a kit, all you'll need for this craft is some white yarn, some green pipe cleaners, some orange yarn, some fishing string, and some twine. Let's get started. In your kit, you should have some fishing line, a piece of twine, a pipe cleaner, some white yarn, and some orange yarn. In each of your yarn areas, you should have a piece of yarn at the end that has a piece of tape on it, and that is just so you have a starting point for your yarn. We're going to make two kinds of items for our garland. We're going to make white ghosts and orange pumpkins. We'll go ahead and we'll start with our ghosts. And you're going to need a pair of scissors handy for this part in a little bit. And the other thing that's very helpful is if you have like a 12-inch binder that's like 1 inch wide, or a book that's about this size, or you can even use the back of a chair if it's about this wide. But you're going to take your string and you're simply going to wrap it around your binder until it is all gone. So just keep wrapping until all of your yarn is wrapped up on here. We'll come back here in just a minute. Once you've wrapped all of your yarn around your binder, or whatever you use to create that nice big loop, go ahead and remove that off of your thing, keeping that loop nice and intact. Set your binder to the side. You're going to use that again for your orange things. And then you're going to go ahead and cut one end of your loop to create one long piece of thread. So go ahead and just cut through. Perfect. If you missed a couple loops, that's okay. Go ahead and just grab those. And same thing right down the middle. Actually, make sure they're not loose. They should be okay, so just make sure they're as even as possible. Okay, so you have a very nice long bunch of white yarn. Go ahead and take one piece of yarn and pull it up and cut this into 6 equal pieces. I'm just going to loop this to make it a little easier for myself so they're pretty equal. You don't have to be entirely perfect, but close to is helpful. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set them to the side. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut this into 3 equal bunches. So 1, 2, 3, thereabouts. Okay. So go ahead and set two of those to the side and just leave one right here in the middle to work with. Out of your nice 6 pieces of tied string, go ahead and set one right down, and we're going to tie this bunch right in the middle. And you want to make a nice tight knot. And then double knot it so it stays nice and tight. Perfect. So that is going to be the foundation of your ghost. You'll take your next piece out of your 6 cut pieces, and we're going to form the head by creating a little bubble right here, right at the top, laying it down, and then we're going to tie another nice and tight to create our ghost head. And there we have our first ghost. So what you can do is go ahead and make your second 2 ghosts, and we'll be right back. Once you have all 3 ghosts ready to go, you'll just want to trim the bottoms so that they're a little more even and get rid of any straggler. And there we have it, 3 ghosts ready to go. We're going to go ahead and set these ghosts to the side, and now we're going to create our pumpkins. Take your orange yarn and that binder again, and you're going to go ahead and wrap that yarn around the binder until it is all finished. So once you have wrapped all of your orange yarn around your binder, go ahead and pull that off and set it here. You're going to separate off about 1.5 of these, about actually 2 rounds of, so all the way around once, of orange string, and go ahead and just trim it here at the end, and then go ahead and cut this into 4 equal pieces. So we've got 4 pretty good pieces over here. Just set those to the side, and we're going to divide this into 4 pieces to make 4 pumpkins. So we're going to just do 1 here, and you do want to make sure you make these nice and tight because this is the center of your pumpkin. Alright, now you're going to divide these, and you're going to go ahead and cut your first pumpkin here. Then you're just going to go down these loops and cut these open. Here is our pumpkin base ready to go. What I would recommend doing next is trimming your pumpkin to kind of look more pumpkin-y. You can see this one's a little uneven, so we're just going to trim some of this excess away until it looks a little more symmetrical. So now we have our 4 pumpkins here. We're going to take our pipe cleaner and we're going to just divide it in half. We're going to do it in 4 parts here. And then another half, and then just go ahead and cut it so you have 4 little pieces. So what you'll want to do for each of your pumpkins is find that center tying string, thread your pumpkin stem through, and what I would do as well is just twist it so it stays nice and secure, and then create another twisted loop up at the top, and that's important because that's what you're going to use to keep that on its thread. So pumpkin 1 ready to go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pumpkins, and we have back our 3 ghosts. We're going to go ahead and now, using that fishing line, you are going to take that and just cut it into a couple different pieces. So, well, you'll need 7 pieces. What you'll do with that fishing line for each one of your items is, for the pumpkins, thread it through that top of that stem, and then just create a nice, I'd recommend at least a double knot with this. If you have hot glue handy, you can also do a little dab of hot glue on there to make it a little more secure. If you don't, that's okay too. Maybe even a triple knot will be helpful in that sense. So that's how it'll look for your pumpkin. For your ghosts, you're just going to take your thread or your string, and remember that top loop you made on your ghost right there? See it right there? You're just going to find that top loop and just thread your fishing wire right through that. Same thing, I'd say a nice little triple knot is going to be really helpful for you in that respect, or again, a double knot and a dab of hot glue if you've got that handy. So there's our example for our pumpkin and ghost. Go ahead and do that for the rest of your items, and we'll tune back here in just a moment. Once you have all of your ghosts and pumpkins tied on your fishing line, go ahead and grab your piece of twine and simply thread them along. And you are all set to enjoy your wonderful pumpkin and ghost garland. Feel free to trim and get away any extra little extras as you're going, and enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Crafternoon. Have a wonderful day.